All right, welcome to Thursday Night Fights. This is Anthony with Bleacher Bums Gaming, coming to you from the land of the second highest gas prices in the United States. Yay. Tonight, we are back with our Time Machine Boxing Union. And again, just a reminder, the setup on that, if you go back last week on Tuesday, I did the setup of the league. This is week number 2. Last week, we crowned our interim champion, Duane Bobick, and he will take on #1 contender Peter Jackson tonight for the Time Machine Boxing Union Heavyweight Championship. But before we get to that, we have multiple groups to get through, and this is, again, a promotion relegation type universe. So our first group tonight will be the club group, which is the lowest tier. And our matchups will be Luis Firpo versus Corey Sanders. Loser of this fight is relegated from the Time Machine Boxing Union into retirement. Next up, Jim Flynn against Lawrence Clay Bay. And the final fight in this group for promotion to the local group, Pete Everett and Ray Mercer. So all of these subgroup fights will be fought using the enhanced quick play charts. And, of course, our main event, Bobick and Jackson, for the heavyweight title will be using the full play of the game. Hey, what's up, Philip? Check out Philip Reynolds' channel as he has joined us here in the chat. We are ready to go. So first bout up, and these are always crucial and exciting bouts. Sanders and Luis Firpo, and again, the loser of this one gets relegated out of the Time Machine Boxing Union. So we will get set and all right, ready to go. And starting into this fight, Sanders is a 5-star fighter, as is Firpo. So both fighters start with 5 points, and we go to our advantage chart to start things off. And 10 is going to be a toe-to-toe. 15 on the roll. If either fighter has a cut rating higher than 8, they suffer a bad gash and lose 2 points. And fortunately, neither has a cut rating higher than 8. So we'll go to the power chart. And 8, the advantage here is going to go to the favored Corey Sanders. 63 and 63, a fighter in control has power of 4 or more, and Sanders does. Opponent doubles, will, and checks for TKO. If no TKO, then 1 point. All right, so here we go. Luis Firpo will is a 5. That is double to 10. Is Sanders able to stop him? 14. He does not, but Sanders gets a point. 6-5 going into our final segment for Corey Sanders. And Sanders once again will be in control, double zeros. Fighter ahead on points gets 2 points and will check of trailing fighter. So this has to be 5 or less. 2 points for Sanders. 2, it's over. Corey Sanders has stopped Luis Firpo. That is going to officially be a 4th round TKO. And our first fight is in the books. And again, the enhanced quick play charts enable you to play an entire bout within 2 minutes. And actually, the results in terms of accuracy have been pretty good so far. In fact, I would say very good overall. Much better than the quick play charts that came with the game. So we'll get on to our second fight, Jim Flynn against Lawrence Clay Bay. Clay Bay is a 5-star fighter. So he's going to have the advantage as Flynn is a 3. We're ready to go. And Philip Reynolds, a nice card storage box by holds 32. Wow. And actually, I've got 1,100 in this, so you could hold 3 full collections of Glory Days boxing cards. As we are ready to go, next fight up. And going off the control chart, a 2-star advantage in control is going to go to the favorite Clay Bay. Roll of 13, check for cut on fighter with highest cut rating. If they fail, they suffer a cut and lose 2 points. Highest cut rating, it's tied, so that's going to be both of them. So Clay Bay is cut and Flynn is not. So Clay Bay loses 2 points. And we head into the power segment tied. A possible upset here, perhaps. Next segment, and this is going to be Jim Flynn as the fighter in control, 0-6. Fighter not in control has a chin KO rating of 4 or higher. Fight is over by KO. That's it. And an upset. Jim Flynn has come through and stopped Lawrence Clay Bay in the 4th round in a definite upset. It gives Flynn new life. And Clay Bay will fight next week for relegation from this league against a newly debuting fighter. So again, the upset there, and that moves us to our final fight in the club group. And that is going to be Ray Mercer, and he will be the favorite against Mexican Pete Everett. Mercer with 6 stars and Pete Everett with 3. So Mercer substantially the favorite in this one. D. Scott Howard has joined us as well. And fight number 3, here we go. So from the advantage chart, all right, 17 and 17 is actually going to be the underdog. Pete Everett in control, 0-1. And if cut rating of fighter not in control is higher than 2, they suffer a cut and lose a point. Ray Mercer is cut, and it is now 5-3. Mercer up heading into the power segment. Could we have our second upset in a row, 14? And 14 is going to be, once again, Pete Everett in control, taking the fight to Mercer early in this one. 53. Fighter ahead on points, pours it on. Add power to opponent's fatigued chin KO. If 8 or more, fight is over. So Pete Everett, fatigued chin KO is an 8. He does that by himself. Mercer a 5. And Mercer says, not tonight, my guy. Second round KO for Ray Mercer. And Ray Mercer has one promotion up into the local group, and Pete Everett remains in the club group. So our club group is done. And we move up to the local group, and the fight matchups in this one in the opening battle. Former Saturday boxing darling Scott Frank is going to take on Tom Cowler, 2 5-star fighters. And this actually should be a very good matchup. Hold on, I want to make sure. Yeah, okay, we're good. All right, the second matchup in this group will be Jake Kilrain against David Jaco, and Jaco is probably heading for a very early exit. Kilrain will be heavily favored, and also heavily favored in the final fight in this group. George Travalo takes on Bill Squires. We are ready to go. This will be the most competitive fight of the group for sure. As we roll on the advantage chart, 18, and Tom Cowler is going to get advantage to start the fight. Roll of 00. If cut rating of fighter not in control is higher than 2, that's come up again. And Scott Frank now has suffered a cut. It is now 5-4 as we head to the power segment. Tom Cowler with the advantage. Tom Cowler retains control. Fighter ahead on points has a KO chance. Add power and opponent's chin KO together. If over 7, it is a KO. Cowler is a 4. And chin KO Frank a 4. This fight is over. Tom Cowler has stopped Scott Frank. 9th round knockout. So Frank is relegated down to the club group where he will be in survival mode. And Tom Cowler gets a chance to climb back into the middle of the local group. So 4 fights, 4 stoppages already in this one. And next up, this should be another stoppage, I would imagine. Jake Kilrain taking on David Jaco, and Kilrain a heavy favorite here. Jaco only 1 star, and Kilrain is a 5-star fighter. So we're set to go, and just checking in. Philip Reynolds just finished FC Cincy versus Columbus, MLS. Phillips had that going on for a while. And I sat in the supporter section of last night's Sounders game. You know what? The soccer here is actually getting better, D. Scott. I agree. We've gone, and obviously Phoenix doesn't have an MLS team, but they have Phoenix Rising. I've gone to that a couple of times. Very fun and lively crowd there. Not quite on EPL level, but pretty close for the size of the crowd. As Kilrain and Jaco are ready to go. Kilrain, again, this should be a cakewalk. However, Jaco is going to have control in the advantage portion, 91. Fighter not in control has a higher stamina rating. They get 1 point. So Kilrain and not in control, definitely a higher stamina rating. So that actually did not help Jaco at all as Kilrain extends his lead to 6-1, heading to the power segment. 10, Kilrain in control, 88. And 88. Fighter behind on points rallies. Opponent makes will check if will higher than 3. If will is equal to or less than 3, then 1 point. Kilrain's will is higher than 3. Man, this would be a huge upset. 6 or less, and Kilrain hangs on, but Jaco gets a point. Heading into the closing segment, and Kilrain fighting below, or I guess down to the level of his competition. Kilrain in control, 90 to close us out. Fighter with the highest number or the highest counter punch range gets 1 point. And for Jaco, his counter is 1 to 3. Kilrain is 1 to 4. 7-2 is our final tally, and 5 or more point difference. It will be a unanimous decision for Jake Kilrain. No need to even roll on that as we head to the final fight of the local group. And this one will be George Chavallo against Bill Squires. Squires, a big punch, but a not very good chin. So this is for promotion up until the regional group, and Chavallo heavily favored here. As fighters are up and getting their instructions, and Chavallo, an 8-star fighter. Bill Squires, a measly 3-star. So starting with a 5-point advantage is Chavallo, but Squires has control here in the advantage chart, 0 to 4. Cut rating of a fighter not in control is higher than 6. They suffer a cut and lose a point. Chavallo is higher than that, so Chavallo down to 7, still holding a 4-point advantage. So we head to the power chart. It should end here if the dice gods are kind to Chavallo. 23, fighter with highest power, roll against opponent's chin KO. If no KO, fighter gets 1 point. So Squires' chin KO is an 8. Chavallo looking to take him out in this one. 6. This fight is over. Chavallo, as expected, took him a little longer than he would have liked. A 10th round KO stoppage of Bill Squires. So George Chavallo will join the regional group for next Thursday night fight edition. And Squires stays put. And speaking of the regional group, some solid matchups in this group. First, the relegation fight. Loser goes down to the local group to take Chavallo's place. This one features Primo Carnera, newly promoted, against Chuck Wepner, of course, who was the inspiration for the film Rocky, based on his gutty performance against Muhammad Ali back in 1974 or 5, I believe. All right, so this one, Carnera, he is going to be the favorite. He's got 6 stars and Wepner 3. And yeah, no, I definitely recommend an MLS game. As Ben Crowbeard Fletton has joined us. Ben has got a nice little universe going on the Glory Days Facebook page. The Palmesti, I hope I pronounced that right, Boxing Association. All right, Carnera and Wepner. Carnera, 3-point advantage. We roll on the advantage chart, and of course, it's been this way all day. Lower fighter, and it's that 0-0 again. If cut rating of fighter is not in control is higher than 2, they suffer a cut. That's pretty much almost a given. So Carnera Reduced 5-3 as we head to the power segment. Suffers a cut on the power chart. And 16, that is going to be Wepner again in control. So 18 is the roll. Fighter ahead on points has a KO chance. This will go to Carnera. Add power and opponent's chin KO together if over 7 KO. Carnera is a 5 and Wepner's chin KO is a 3. That is just over 7 and 8. It's all over. Carnera has stopped Chuck Wepner, and that's going to be a 4th round KO. So Chuck Wepner, unfortunately in free fall, he is going to be relegated to the local group next week. And that brings up our second fight in this group. It's going to be Mike Weaver, Hercules, against Peter McNeely. And this should be a beatdown for the big, strong Weaver. Of course, one of the most exciting heavyweight fights that I watched was his shocking 15-round pull defeat from the jaws of victory, or victory from the jaws of defeat, knockout of John Tate. Excellent puncher is Weaver. Power of 5 and McNeely of 4. So stars, Mike Weaver has 5 and McNeely 3. Weaver is the favorite as we go to the advantage chart. And 2, it's going to be Weaver in control out of the gate. We've had low rolls on this chart. If cut rating of fighter not in control is higher than 6, they suffer a cut and lose 1 point. McNeely is a bleeder, 15. So McNeely down to 2, 3-point advantage. So we head to the power chart for Hercules. We were looking to get him out of here, but McNeely steals control, 70, and add power of fighter in control to opponent's will. If 10 or more, TKO win. Yikes. McNeely has 4, and Weaver is shocked. Mike Weaver upset by Peter McNeely. Unbelievable. It has been a night of upsets, and that was a 4. I'm sorry. A 4th round, another 4th round stoppage, TKO win, and Mike Weaver shocked by Peter McNeely. And McNeely now earns the right to fight for promotion out of the regional group next week, and the crowd is stunned. So 2 upsets so far on this edition of Thursday Night Fights. And in the final fight of this group, this is for promotion from the regional group up to the national group for next week's Thursday Night Fights. Sultan Ibragimov against Joe Bugner. And this should be a very good matchup as well. Both fighters check in at 6 stars. Ibragimov is going to be the slight favorite, but this is anybody's fight as we roll on the advantage chart. And Bugner is going to have control. 91. If fighter not in control has a higher stamina rating, they get 1 point. If less, 1 point to opponent. And Bugner does have the higher stamina, so Bugner's going to get the point. So heading to the power chart, Bugner now with the lead, and this is going to go to Ibragimov. Once again, 11 is the roll. If fighter not in control, that is Joe Bugner, has a chin KO rating of 4 or higher, and opponent's power 3 or more. And Joe Bugner has a 3, so he is going to survive the KO chance for Ibragimov, but it's now tied at 7 as we head to the closing segment. A good close fight here. And 13 is going to go to Bugner in control, and 35. If fighter head on points is in control, they get 1 point. Nobody is ahead. If tied, use favored fighter. So this is going to be a point to Ibragimov. And if their power is higher than 2, which his is, opponent makes a will check. This is a fresh will check. 5 or less, 13. Bugner goes the distance, and it is now in the hands of the judges. And we will see how the judges score this one. So 1 point differential, 13 or less, and this is going to be a split decision to Ibragimov. And worthy decision there. Close fight. Bugner gave him a good battle. Ibragimov, however, wins promotion up into the national group next week. So exciting development for him as we now are closing in on our last two, or our main event, actually, our last two groups coming up. And in the national group, our matchups are Vasily Girov versus Rudy Lubers, and this should be a definite Vasily Girov win, but a couple of upsets already tonight. You never know. Next matchup will be another good one. Baby Joe Macy, who suffered his first defeat in last week's Thursday night fights at the hands, or to the hands of Evander Holyfield, will take on Big John Tate. And our final matchup in the national group, and this will be for promotion to the championship group, Burt Cooper takes on the real deal, Evander Holyfield. I'm thinking Holyfield will get the promotion here. As Al Red Sox fan, check out his wonderful channel. Al does a little bit of everything. And return of Saturday Night Chat last Saturday. Always good to stop in and spend some time with Al, the best commentator in the business. And we are ready to go as national group. This is for relegation to the regional group, Girov and Lubers. And Vasily is going to be a 5-2 lead to start this. He is the favored fighter, and we're underway. 13. That is going to go to Girov on the advantage chart. All right, roll of 59 and 59. If fighter in control adds 5 to their punches landed inside range, if this makes it higher than opponent, gets 2 points. So inside, Girov with that addition is 53, and he was ahead of Lubers without that. So a very, very good start, a commanding 7-2 lead as we head into the power chart. And that's going to be Girov once again in control, 60. And 60, a fighter in control has power of 3 or more. Girov does. Opponent doubles will and checks for TKO. So Lubers' will is 5, 10 or less. This fight is over, and that's it. Girov, as expected, steamrolls Rudy Lubers, gets him out of there. TKO 1. So Lubers relegated to the regional group, and Vasily Girov continues his climb up. Very good battle for Girov there. Next up, this is a very intriguing fight. Baby Joe Messi, again, he suffered his first loss. I'm taking, in this universe, fighters will have their actual career records. They'll start with that, and they can retire by getting relegated out of the bottom group, or after 10 fights in the universe, there is a retirement chance, which increases dramatically every 5 fights from there on out. So we'll keep a good fresh flow of fighters coming in and out of this and keep it fun and hopefully interesting. All right, so Big John Tate and Joe Messi, both fighters at 6. And John Tate, on his boxing prowess, the slight favorite in this one, according to Las Vegas odds makers. So going to the advantage chart, 97, fighter with highest stamina gets a point. 70-65, Big John Tate breaks out of the gate faster as we move to the power chart. And remember, coming up, our main event, Peter Jackson versus Duane Bobick for the inaugural Time Machine Boxing Union Heavyweight Championship. John Tate in control, 13 on the power chart. Fighter with the highest chin KO rating, rolls fatigued, KO check. If fails, fight over by KO. So that is going to be Big John Tate. And can we have another Mike Weaver moment? Baby Joe Macy, 16, and Tate takes it, but Macy gets a point. Heading to the closing chart, 7-7. Tate and Messi, here we go. And 14, and that is going to be Baby Joe Macy in control, and 61 on the final chart. Fighter in control gets 1 point if favored. If fighter in control is underdog, must make will check and 1 point to the favorite if no TKO. Not a very not a very favorable result for Macy there. Tate is going to get the point. And Macy's going to have to make a will check. That's one of the worst rolls you can get on these enhanced quick play charts. 3 or less, though. Macy's tough. He survives easily. And we're going to go to the judges once again. As expected, a very close fight. And the judges, a very razor thin, but definitely unanimous decision goes to Big John Tate, who survives a little bit of adversity in this one. So Macy suffers his second career loss. He now drops to 36-2-0 with 29 KOs. And our final fight for this group. This is for promotion to the championship group. And our 3 matchups here. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. For promotion to the championship group. The matchup here, Holyfield, of course, the real deal. Favorite fighter of ID Jester, so much that IDJ gave him a very special trade of his own creation to ensure fights are fixed in his universe. Burt Cooper, obviously I'm joking. Burt Cooper started strong, really suffered, fought too long. He's a 3-star fighter to Holyfield's 8. Holyfield should dominate in this one. And Holyfield, as expected, starts out in control. Another low roll. If cut rate or fighting is not in control, is 6 or higher, it is. So Cooper's going to suffer a cut. He doesn't need that. He's also down to 2 points. 8-2 Holyfield with the advantage as we head to the power chart. And Evander keeps control, 91. Fighter behind on points gets a power check. If successful, opponent does a fatigue will check. Wow. Could we have another upset here? 5 or less for 19. No. No. But Cooper's going to get that point back. It's going to be 8-3 heading into the closing chart, our final segment of this fight. So that was a very, very golden opportunity that was missed by Burt Cooper. We're going to be toe-to-toe, though, on the closing chart. 52, if fighter in control gets 2 points if favored, 1 point if underdog. If toe-to-toe, no points awarded. That's what we've got. And it is going to be, we don't even have to roll, differential of 5 or more. A comfortable unanimous decision win for Evander Holyfield. Evander Holyfield will now join the championship group, replacing the loser of the Jack Bodell-Jeff Merritt fight, which is coming up right now. All right, the matchups in this top group. And again, we did the initial drawings for groups based on FA Cup random draw guidelines, which is why we have some of the fighters at this skill level in the championship group. Neither will last long, and one will not last after this next fight. So matchups in this group, Bodell and Merritt. Then for the #1 contenders spot in a title shot next Thursday, Tyson Fury takes on Harry Katsuya, the bionic right hand. And of course, our main event, Time Machine Boxing Union champion, will be using the full play version of the game for that one. Duane Bobick against the Black Prince, Peter Jackson. And guys, as we head into this final segment of the card, grab a beer, relax, and pound that like button for me if you don't mind. Here we go. So Merritt, he is a slight favorite here, 4 stars to 3 against Bodell. And Bodell is going to have advantage, though, in the control chart. Or on the advantage chart, I should say. 20. Check for cut on fighter not in control. If they fail, they suffer a cut and lose a point. So that is going to be Merritt. And Merritt's cut rating is a 7, and he is not cut and does not lose a point. Heading to the power chart, Merritt, the more powerful puncher. See if he can take advantage. And 11 is going to be toe-to-toe on the power chart. Roll of 34. Add power of favored fighter to chin KO of underdog if total are 7 or more. I can tell you right now, this one is over. Total 12. And Jeff Merritt, not a great boxer, but a powerful one, gets a 10th round KO of Jack Bodell. And Bodell is relegated to the national group. And Merritt hoping to work his way back up to a title shot. He lost to Bobick for the interim title. Remains in the group. So this is our number one contenders fight, and then our main event coming up next. Tyson Fury, the Gypsy King, against the bionic right hand, Harry Coetzee. And Coetzee just passing away this year, actually. Very, very good guy. Fought against apartheid in his native South Africa. Coetzee is a 6-star fighter, and of course, Tyson Fury an 8. So Fury the favorite in this one, as we're ready to go. 2-point advantage for Fury, but Coetzee is going to come out fast and take control on the advantage chart. Roll of 29. And if fighter in control has a foul rating over 5, they lose a point. That's not the roll you want to get. Coetzee falls behind 8-5 to Tyson Fury. As we head into the power segment, Coetzee remains control, though, 88, and fighter behind on points rallies. Opponent makes will check if will higher than 3. If will is equal to or less than 3, and Fury's is a 4. So he's going to have to make a will check. 4 or less, we'd have a little bit of an upset here. 13, he survives, but Coetzee gets that point back. And heading to the final chart. Closing chart, 2-point advantage for Fury. Coetzee looking to close strong, and he's had control in all 3 charts. So 13, fighter in control surges, gets 1 point. If toe-to-toe, 1 point to favored fighter, that's going to go to Coetzee, and he has closed the gap to 8-7. We're going to the judges, and again, favoring Fury still, but with only 1 point. It could go either way. And we have a split decision, 2-1. The winner is Tyson Fury. So Tyson Fury squeaks his way into a title shot against the winner of our upcoming main event. And we are ready to get into quick play version of the game. So as the interim champion, Bobick will go in the red corner. And let's get the specifics in place for this one. All right. So stamina, and that's always going to be a key thing, especially in a 15-round battle. It's going to be 100-80 advantage to Peter Jackson there. Jackson's trait is counterpoint, add 1 to all counters that land. And finally, Bobick has the survivor trait. If hurt, he can negate that with a 5 on a 1d20 roll, which would initiate a clinch. So we're ready to go. Your referee for the main event is Larry Hazard. Crowd is excited. The inaugural official Time Machine Boxing Union heavyweight title is at stake. All right, we're set to go. Fighters getting their final instructions, and the odds makers have made Peter Jackson, who is a 10-star fighter, a significant favorite against the 5-star Duane Bobick. We are underway. 15 rounds. Here we go. Peter Jackson. Bobick coming out of the... Actually, hold on. Put Jackson in the red corner. Bobick can be in the blue. Jackson is favored, and that's how I have it on the score sheet. So here we go. Jackson, a 3, 2 stars from the outside, and Duane Bobick, 1 star from the outside. And Peter Jackson starts things off with a nice 2-punch combination in tight, and Bobick eats both of those. Larry Hazard, hoping he does not have much to do. Jackson, an excellent boxer. Bobick is going to look to pressure him. It's going to be 2 stars inside for Peter Jackson. And 80, he misses. Bobick fires back and misses a wild right hand. Jackson, if he had connected, would have had a chin check on Bobick, the champion, the interim champion. 2 stars from the outside for Peter Jackson, and Bobick staying outside. He's not going to hang with him there. Peppers the jab and then across. 3 big punches land, and it's going to be a possible knockdown chance. 19. Bobick eats all 3 punches. So Jackson establishing A little bit of advantage here early in this one. Deuces for both. Toe-to-toe outside. Jackson goes first. Jackson misses. Bobick fires back. Just missed a knockdown chance for Duane Bobick. Bobick lets the hands go. Devastating combinations. Rock the Black Prince. 5 punches land for Bobick. So Bobick is not interested in what the odds makers think. He's coming here to fight. It's going to be 6s and inside 2 stars. Jackson in control. He misses. Bobick counters and 2 punches for Duane as he surges into the lead here in the first round of this title fight. 2 stars inside for Peter Jackson and no stars outside for Bobick. Jackson in control, 56, just misses there, and Bobick unable to counter. A minute left in the round. A surprising first round for Duane Bobick, as Ben Crowbeard Fletton has picked Jackson in 5 in this one. I think Jackson definitely mid-range, 5 to 7 rounds sounds good to me. And 3s for both. It's going to be a toe-to-toe from the inside, and Peter Jackson leads it off, and Peter Jackson is going to pull. Actually, that's going to be a foul opportunity. 17, no foul, and Bobick, he'll have a knockdown chance if he can connect here. 81 cannot do it, and that is going to be a clinch. 40 seconds to go. Opening stanza, Peter Jackson now looking to box from space. 2 stars, though, as he works his way inside, takes control, 89, and that is going to be a clinch. Final 20 seconds of the round. Good first round for the interim champion, Bobick. 2 stars from the outside for Jackson, but Jackson has been winning these control rolls. He misses, and round comes to a close. 7 punches to 6, a slight advantage for the interim champion, Duane Bobick. And we will see how the judges will score this one. 1 punch differential. All right, many at ringside surprised and impressed that Bobick was able to do so well in that round. Seems to have some confidence in his corner cheering him on. Here we go, round number 2. Fighters come out. Peter Jackson from the outside in control once again, but Peter Jackson misses, and Bobick tries to catch him with a wild overhand right. Jackson sidesteps that. 3-1, and again from the inside, Jackson in control. He's going to pull Bobick into a clinch. Jackson looks to be getting frustrated here as Bobick bullying him around a little bit on the inside, as Jackson 2 stars from the outside, though, back in control. And 40 this time. Short, hard punches land as Bobick eats both of those. 2 minutes to go in the second stanza. So far, a rather slow and uneventful fight. Peter Jackson, 2 stars from the inside, and Bobick, 2 stars from the inside, toe-to-toe. Jackson leads it off. Jackson's going to get through with 2 short, hard punches, and Bobick fires back from the inside. 7 lets the hands go. Heavy rights and lefts land for Duane Bobick. 4 punches, and once again, a very close round as we pass the halfway point. 2 stars inside. Peter Jackson in control, 62. He's going to miss. Bobick can't counter. He ties him up instead. So not going thus far as most had predicted. This time Jackson, though, gets that lucky 5. That's the 3-star roll, and he's going to be in control from the outside, but 93 can't take advantage, pulls Bobick into a clinch. And Jackson's corner not happy with him right now, exhorting him to let the hands go. It's going to be another toe-to-toe, this time taking place from the inside. Jackson starts it, and Jackson peppers Bobick with a jab, and then a hard cross gets through. Bobick's going to have a chin check. Bobick fires back 10, and a wicked 4-punch salvo for Bobick, but he's got to make a chin check now. 8 or less, he's in trouble. 1, he's down. Duane Bobick is down. Peter Jackson catches him on that exchange. A huge right hand. Larry Hazard moves into count. 5 or less, this fight is over. 16, Bobick is up at the count of 8 and taking the full mandatory 8. That is going to make this a 10-8 round for Peter Jackson, barring Bobick coming back with a little magic of his own. Wow, a sudden right hand from the #1 contender. And Jackson now in control from the inside. 54, 2 punches land. That's not going to be enough for a will check. And Bobick, it looks like, is going to survive. And that was an unopposed segment. I don't know why I rolled all the dice, but I did. 1 star from the inside for the Jackson. 2 stars toe-to-toe inside. Jackson leads it off. He misses. Bobick, 41. Bobick does not. And a punishing cross follows a jab. Bobick outscores Jackson 10-9. But that knockdown makes all the difference. That's going to be a 10-8 round for the challenger. And that was a mistake Bobick could not afford to make. That puts him in a hole where if he had stayed upright, he could possibly be up 2-0 as we get ready to head into round number 3. Jackson now buoyed by that big knockdown in the last round. It's going to be that 3-star result from the outside. Jackson dancing around and peppering Bobick. A hard cross caps the sequence. 4 big punches get through. Cut check 11. No damage to Bobick. Jackson with momentum and stalking his prey. No stars, however. It's going to be toe-to-toe from the outside. Jackson leads it off. 55. Peter Jackson misses. That would have been a knockdown chance. Bobick fires back. Bobick does not. 32. Punishing cross follows a jab. And 2 punches get through for the interim champion. So Bobick is staying even with Jackson. That knockdown, of course, is going to be huge. Toe-to-toe from the outside. This time, Bobick leads it off. And again, punishing cross follows a jab. And Peter Jackson fires back. 0-1, lets the hands go. Series of jabs and crosses. 5 big punches get through. And Bobick is stopped in his tracks. He backs up into the corner. Jackson closing in. 3 stars from the outside. In control. 79. He misses. Bobick can't counter. 140 to go, round number 3. Jackson, 2 stars from the inside, in control, missing once again. Would have been another knockdown chance, and Bobick ties him up. Bobick looking to recapture some of that early momentum. Not going to happen here, though. That's going to be, actually, no. 1 star from the outside. Bobick's in control, 0-2, and heavy rights and lefts land. 4 big punches get through for Duane Bobick. Minute to go in the round. So Bobick is tough, and Jackson in control from the outside. 56, he misses. Bobick looks to counter, just misses a vicious right hand. That could have put Jackson's lights out. Jackson, a serious look on his face as he resets. 1 for both. Jackson in control from the outside. 86, he's going to miss, and Bobick doesn't even try to counter there. Pulls up short. Final 20 seconds of the round. Another good round for Duane Bobick, but Jackson here, final segment. 3-star result from the outside. 42. Short, hard punches land for Peter Jackson. Going to be a knockdown chance. Chin check 8. Bobick is hurt, but the round comes to a close. All right, 11-8 in that one. And again, using the optional stun rule. And if you are not familiar with that, if a fighter hurts his opponent, he is automatically going to get the benefit of the round with the judges. And another tough break for Duane Bobick. That was a round, would have been close, 3-punch differential. He possibly could have stolen it on 1 or more of the judges' cards. But we're set to go round number 4. Stamina check 75-54. Jackson with the advantage. Here we go. 3 stars for Jackson from the outside. 62, he misses. Bobick misses. And Jackson, accuracy problems left and right in this fight. This would have been another knockdown chance. And Bobick is fighting tough, but Jackson is making it look a little bit harder than it probably should be. Jackson, though, in control from the outside at 22. And again, that jab, 2 jabs, a hard cross, get through and snap Bobick's head back. Bobick comes forward looking to trap him, but 5s for both. 3 stars for Peter Jackson from the outside. 61. misses, and Bobick tries to counter with a hook. Jackson ducks under that. 6 and 4. It's going to be inside. Jackson in control. 30. And again, working inside behind the jab and a vicious left hook to the body. Bobick eats those punches. Jackson now looking to establish control. It's going to be toe-to-toe. Jackson goes first from the inside, and 84. That is going to be a clinch, so no action there. Jackson not wanting to trade with Bobick apparently, and it's going to be 2 stars outside. Jackson once again in control, misses, and Bobick can't counter. So Jackson's defense coming into play here, 6 and 5. That is going to be Jackson again in control from the inside. 13 lets the hands go. 4 big punches get through. Possible knockdown chance. Chin check. Bobick eats those. So Bobick down once in the second round. He's taken some hellacious shots and stood up to them outside of that. 1 star for Peter Jackson. And he again is in control from the inside. 54. Short, hard punches and close. 2 of them get through. And Bobick with a 2 on the defense roll. He's going to add, Bobick, not a great defensive fighter, add a punch to that. Final 20 seconds, a very decisive round for the #1 contender, Peter Jackson. And he is going to close in control from the outside. 55, he misses, and Bobick can't counter. Round comes to a close. And that is going to be a 13-0 advantage. And Bobick, whatever hope he had early, seems to be fading here as we get ready for round number 5. A decisive round to the challenger there. And more important, that stamina down to 41 now for the champion, the interim champ. Here we go, round number 5. Both fighters getting final instructions from their cornerman, and it's going to be inside. Peter Jackson in control, and Jackson lights Bobick up. A hard cross follows a jab, hook, jab. And Bobick battered back into the ropes. Bounces off, looks to grab. Jackson pushes him away, and it's going to be Jackson from the outside, and Bobick from the outside takes control. Bobick, though, still with some life, lands heavy rights and lefts from space. Possible cut for Peter Jackson, and 12. Jackson is not cut. 2:20 left in the round. Let's see if Bobick can reestablish some of that early fire he had. It's going to be 2 stars to 1. Peter Jackson in control, 96. Jackson's going to get credit for a punch. Possible foul, 17, no foul. 2 minutes left in the round. 5-4 and punches landed. Jackson's favor here in the 5th stanza. 2 stars inside for the Black Prince. Lets the hands go in control. Series of jabs and crosses, peppering Bobick. 5 big punches get through. Bobick is going to add another one. Very nice of him. Blocking a extra punch with his chin, and a great flurry for Jackson. And Bobick now looks to be a little uneasy in there. Jackson works inside. 31 lets the hands go. Again, working in behind that jab, ending with a nice cross. 1 possible knockdown. 2 Bobick hits the deck again. Duane Bobick, the interim champion, down for the 2nd time in this fight. Jackson stands in the neutral corner as Larry Hazard begins to count. This fight is over. It is over. Peter Jackson and Ben Crowbeard Flinton play the lottery, my friend. You called it. Jackson in 5. That is what happened. So Peter Jackson, a 5th round knockout of the interim champion, Duane Bobick. Let's get our final time. The end coming in segment number 5, and the end comes at 1:32 of round number 5. The winner by knockout and new Time Machine Boxing Union heavyweight champion, the Black Prince, Peter Jackson. So as expected, Peter Jackson comes up victorious against a very game. Bobick came out and actually fought Jackson on even terms early on in this one, really through the first 3 rounds. The difference was he got dropped in the 2nd and hurt in the 3rd. Dominated in the 4th, was holding his own here, but Jackson poured it on, got him out of there, and that is your fight, guys. So Peter Jackson, the first official Time Machine Boxing Union heavyweight champion, and let's see how that stacks up for next week. So Peter Jackson with the 5th round KO joins the Hall of Champions. And poor Duane Bobick, 0 defenses of the interim title. This is the official title now. So next week, Peter Jackson is going to face the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury, in our main event for the Time Machine Boxing Union Heavyweight Champion. That one should be a slobber knocker, and looking forward to that. We are also going to be introducing a new fighter, and Luis Firpo is exiting the group, so he will be replaced next week, and we'll introduce the new fighter. Until then, I appreciate everyone stopping by. Philip Reynolds playing some Soccer Blast. Check out his channel. And we also have our friend from the Great Northwest, D. Scott Howard. Thanks for stopping by. Ben Crowbeard Flinton, who called this round and everything. 5th round KO for Jackson. Check out his Dynasty on the Glory Days Boxing Facebook group. And of course, our good friend, the king of the YouTube commentators, Al, Red Sox fan. Check out his wonderful channel as well. Hope you all had a great time at the fights tonight. A very exciting card, a couple of upsets. Let's run down the results real quick before we sign off. So in the club group for relegation, Corey Sanders stopped Luis Firpo, the Wild Bull of the Pampas, 4th round TKO. Firpo is retired. Sanders lives on. And this was his actual debut fight in the universe. Lawrence Clay Bay, an upset loss to fireman Jim Flynn by knockout. And Clay Bay will be fighting for his life next week. And finally, in the final match of that group, Ray Mercer knocked out Pete Everett to move up to the local group next week. In the local group relegation fight, Scott Frank, mild upset loss to Tom Cowler. He is relegated. Jake Kilrain, a unanimous decision over David Jaco. And Big George Chavallo, as expected, wins promotion from local to the regional group with a knockout of Bill Squires. And in the regional group, Primo Carnera stopped Chuck Wepner. Wepner relegated to local. Peter McNeely, a big upset, TKO stoppage of Mike Weaver, and that was our second big upset of the night. And then finally, in the promotion fight, Sultan Abragamov, a very close split decision win over Joe Bugner. He's up to national group. Rudy Lubers relegated to regional, suffering a TKO loss to Vasily Zhirov. Big John Tate, unanimous decision over Baby Joe Macy. And Evander Holyfield joins the championship group next week after a easy unanimous decision of Burt Cooper. And finally, our championship group, Jack Bodell relegated to national, stopped by Jeff Merritt. Harry Kotsia loses a heartbreaker, split decision to Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury, the #1 contender. And our main event you just witnessed, Peter Jackson becomes the TMBU Heavyweight Champion, a 5th round knockout of Duane Bobick, and he will face Tyson Fury next week. So thanks, everybody. Have a great night. We will see you next week for another edition of Thursday Night Fights. Anthony with Bleacher Bums Gaming. Keep rolling and take care.